This episode of Last Lap features the MG Car Club Drayton Manor Park MG Metro Cup. Hi everyone, welcome along to a Tin Top special on Last Lap. Action from the Drayton Manor Park MG Metro Cup. Later on in the programme, the Motorsport News Saloons from Brands Hatch.
Phil qualified pole position and leading the overall championship, so not a bad start to the weekend.
Yeah, it started off very well at sort of Brands Hatch a few months ago, and then ended badly with the DNF. But since then we've been moving strongly back up, just sort of maintaining our lead in Class B, and we've actually now just taken the lead in the overall championship, which we're hoping to sort of make a bit more solid this weekend.
Early this morning we had cloud, rain, now we're clear, it could go either way.
Yeah, it's. I love this place. I love Alton Park. A little bit tricky in the wet this morning. Really slippery. Last couple of laps were a lot better. But I think I'm easy whichever way it goes. I'm happy with either.
So Ollie, here we are coming up to the race one, qualifying 5th position. I think you wanted a little bit better there.
I did, yeah. I was hoping for top 3 to be honest. But this is our first race. We haven't had any problems so far, which is good. Touch wood. And we're hoping to do a lot better in the race, try and move up there, get up with the front pack and hopefully get a podium, that's the aim.
One of the key points for going to Class C is obviously you do have options of tyres, which might be quite important in weather like today. Yeah,
in the wets we can use the soft compound, which makes a massive difference, and when it's dry we use a medium compound, but it's the same type of tyre.
Now, a veteran of this for many years, why are you sticking with this championship?
It's a brilliant championship. The drivers are friendly, the racing is really competitive, and it's very clean as well. You know, the driving standards are very high.
So Tony, 3rd in the championship at Class Bs at the moment, 5th on the grid in qualifying. Just tell us about how it went.
Well, it was very wet this morning. Bit unusual because there's a lot of oil around the track, so some of the bends were very slippery, some were drier than you thought they were. I put a new management system on, or Paul has, which isn't quite right at the moment. Got a bit of a misfire, but I hope to do better in the race.
Now, the season for you's gone pretty well so far. We're looking into next season as well. We amalgamate the classes together. That's going to be even more competitive, isn't it?
Yeah, really looking forward to it. We're going to be able to run slick race tyres next year, which will make the cars a lot better. But having everyone racing together is going to be really good fun, I think.
So Dan, Alton Park in your first season here. How are you finding it so far?
It's been really great so far this year. Like I say, first year, pretty much running around the back at Mallory, and since then it's been a progression forward, really, and qualified 7th today, so quite happy with that.
Now, you come from a background of karting, come into the Metro Cup. What attracted you to this, and how different is it as a discipline?
It's very different. Metro Cup attracts me. It's really good grids, really good atmosphere. I did my research last year, came to watch a couple of races, see a couple of the guys. It's a lot different to karting though. Front wheel drive, these cars, and the karts that I used to do were endurance karts, so that would be like 6-hour races with a team of 3 of us. This just on my own for 20 minutes, but I'm really enjoying it. It's brilliant.
So Mike, here we go into the race. Pole position, can't be bad.
Feeling confident. It was very wet this morning for qualifying, a lot of oil down, so I think it was kind of a bit of a false lead, the 1.3 seconds, so I think I'll probably have a bit of a harder time today in the race. But hopefully I'll stay ahead and see how it goes.
Mike Williams starts on pole position. Tom Sanderson alongside, then Ben Rushworth and Dick Trevette completing the front 2 rows. Pole position for Class B goes to Philip Goff with Mark Eales in 2nd place. The red lights are on. A relatively long wait, but ultimately we are away here at Alton Park and a good clean start. But of course getting into Old Hall is another matter. And it's Tom Sanderson coming across. Mike Williams holds his ground going into Old Hall. We've got a little bit of a sandwich going on here. Mark Eels, did he tap the 94 car? It might have just touched him. Spears off to the right. Off to the left goes Tony Connell. And I think Tony's got back on. Jack Ashton's had a good start. Now up front, the outside front row man, Tom Sanderson, has got through into the lead. So Sanderson leads. Second place is Mike Williams. Third is Ben Rushworth. And Jack Ashton in purple, the number 98, is in fourth place. But Dick Trevette wants to get fourth back. He qualified in fourth place. Did the driver of the orange car, the number 96. And Dick on the outside line. We go in car with Jack Ashton fighting hard. Looks across. He'll see Dick Trevette there. But Dick has now got the number 30, Oliver Hood, on his outside as they come into Britain. So Dick's going to have the line into the chicane, which he does. And Oliver Hood, the boat builder from Southampton, third at Mallory Park, is not nudged back down, but certainly relegated down behind Dick Trevette. Behind them we've got Tony Howe in yellow, and then the MG livery of Richard Garrard, and then I think it's Philip Goff who leads Class B. So Jack Ashton going through from Dick Trevette in 96, and then the 30 car of Oliver Hood. Oliver Hood in sixth place in the championship standings, coming here to Alton Park for round 8 of the championship. There's Kyla Birdseye, it's Dick Trevette's granddaughter. You may remember we caught up with and met the family in our last lap programme at Brands Hatch, which was filmed in May this year, just over a month after the first round of the championship at Mallory Park. And it's a 10-round championship, some very good venues, extremely cost-effective racing, and we'll tell you a little bit more about the costs as we get into the race here on last lap. Comes the race leaders though. Tom Sanderson still there. Second position is Mike Williams. We're looking at the scrap for fourth, and it's Jack Ashton there at the moment from Dick Trevette in the 96. Trevette, the engineer from Pottersbury, overall champion back in 2005, has been racing since 1968, so a real veteran campaigner, and that just underlines how popular this championship is, as Stephen Hinchliffe goes through shot, followed by Kyla Birdseye, then the number 18 of Robin Sanderson, and Peter Coleman following as well. So Alton Park, the 2.6 mile international circuit, the ideal configuration for these cars and a good challenge for them. There's Jack Ashton at the moment, still holding, and a little bumpy moment over on the exit of Britain's by Mike Williams in second place. Hasn't lost him any time though. It's still the Tom Sanderson 19 car out front, qualified second, converted that into the lead off the start. Third position Ben Rushworth. So there is 98, Jack Ashton, qualified just ahead of Dan Willars. And behind them was Philip Goff, the B-pole man. Richard Garrard was behind them. So here's Jack Ashton coming up the hill. And you can see from the onboard shot, there's a little gap now developing between Ashton and the top three in front of him. Mark Ills is there. Mark in 44, a race winner earlier on in the season. I think that was the race Philip Goff retired. Yes, it was. Brands Hatch race 2, round 3 of the championship. Goff has won every race he started, aside from, no, he's run every race he started but had a retirement in round 3 at Brands Hatch. So Goff looking to maintain a 100% winning finishing record this weekend, and he's got a good lead at the moment over car number 16, Tony Connell, the red and white car, going just out of shot. Then it's Mark Eels. Now these guys racing in Class B, and they're punching above their weight because they're interloping with some of the faster Class C cars. So the C boys will want to try and get back past the Bs, and in the meantime they might cause a problem for the chasers, including 33 Andrew Jolly, who's there, and also Darren Angood, who's in 15. So Darren Angood goes through shot. He's third in the championship, Darren. Number 15 car comes from Toaster, third in the championship in 2014. And sadly for him, no races at Silverstone, which would basically be fall out of bed and start racing. But back to the race leaders. Scunthorpe's Tom Sanderson, the race leader. Second overall in 2014, took 8 wins, 9 out of 10 fastest laps. An ex-Autograss racer. Off into retirement goes Steve Williams. So sadly, Steve Williams, you might have to turn the smile upside down on the car. But the race pretty much now at half distance here at Alton. And there's the race leader, Tom Sanderson. Mike Williams dropping away a little bit at the moment. Wait for Rushworth to come into shot. They hold the shot long enough to see Rushworth in third position. So 1, 2 and 3 fairly well spaced out at the moment. And here's Philip Goff still in the lead of his race in the 77 car. And remember, when he's finished, this is where he's been all year at the head. Took the pole position. In fact, if we look at pole positions, Goff has had them right the way through. A little bit further back, 33. Andrew Jolly closing in on Darren Angood, the man from Toaster. Angood won't have a home race this year. No event at Silverstone. And off goes 77. Goff is off and into the gravel, but keeps his foot in. That was a great recovery from Philip Goff, but was it a mistake or a car problem that caused that? He's back on track and still leading. So Goff is still there, the 77 car, but Mark Eales in green is up to second. So Eales is closing up. What's happened to Tony Connell? Was that Tony Connell immediately behind? We'll have to check this one out. I don't think it is. It's not an Ashton's car. So Tony Connell seems to be... Well, he's slowing. There's Tony Connell in 16. Is out of the race. Connell was running second. So Goff had a massive lead over Connell. Goff threw it off. Connell's retiring. We're catching up with Tony Howe now. He's been with the championship since 1990. And again, proof that drivers that come into this championship are quite happy to come and stay with it. And we'll have the conclusion to this race after the break. There's Dick Trevette pulling away at the moment, got 3 or 4 lengths over Jack Ashton, so Trevette back into fourth where he qualified. And now we've got a battle on for Class B. The two cars here, 77 and 44, are the two Class Bs. Third place in Class B is a way back. So we've got 2 chicanes joined by pretty much a hill in the middle. They're going up the hill now, out of Britain's and down to Hislops. And it's Philip Goff that's there at the moment. Let's see whether Mark Eales is going to get close enough. They come down and Eales is having a look, dives down the inside, locks up and goes through, but has he overcooked it? Because Goff goes to the outside line. They both want the same piece of tarmac and Eales touches the back of the car and Goff goes round into the barrier. They're both off. Eales puts it in reverse very quickly indeed. Goff fires it up. They rejoin at the same time. Well, that's going to spark a few debates after the race. The question is, how quickly can they both rejoin, and will they rejoin in close proximity? Back with Richard Garrard in 49, still chasing Tony Howe. Tony Howe 6, Richard Garrard in 7th position. But what about Class B? It's all changed. The complexion of the race altering completely, and so it is here as well, because we've got Jack Ashton starting to close up again on Dick Trevette in 96. Trevette still 4th, Ashton 5th, and closing up again. Trevette going high and wide into the banking, opens the door for Jack Ashton. But look at the run that Trevette gets coming out of the banking. He knows how to use that banking and uses the speed to hang on to the position into Britain's. Nice piece of racing there from Trevette and Ashton. Back with the race leader though. So Tom Sanderson building the lead, fastest lap back on lap 2. He hasn't looked back since then, running superbly. Here is Thomas Burles, the driver from Bath. Previously an under-21 auto test champion, Tom Burles, so changing motorsport disciplines, but doing pretty well in this championship as well. He's just behind Grant Summersby in the championship table, who in turn is behind Julian Marsden and Andrew Jolly. And as you can see, the lead 2 cars in Class B have both recovered, and it's Mark Eales who's out front ahead of Philip Goff, and Goff is desperately trying to hunt him down now. I think we've got Darren Angood running in 3rd place, who's within shot, and Angood will now be thinking, if those cars are damaged, if the tracking's out or something wrong with those cars, he might be able to get further up the podium. 27 goes through, Dan Willars. 29 is Timothy Davis. They are the cars that these boys were racing with earlier on in this race. and it's Eels out front. Goff is going to try and come through. Darren Angood is there, Andrew Jolly, but look at Goff, very close indeed. He's going to have a look up the inside. He'll have to hang on to the outside line as they come through Knickerbrook if he is to relieve Mark Eels of the race lead. But Goff down into second, again pokes his nose up the inside through Clay Hill. We wait for them to come back in shot in this very picturesque circuit, the overhang of the trees, and Goff's gone through. Philip Goff reclaims the lead. Mark Eels down to second, and now down into the dip under the Paul Warwick Bridge and up towards us at Lodge Corner, and it's Philip Goff, the race leader for Class B. Goff in 11th position, Mark Eels in 12th, his second position in class. Darren Angood continues to run in third place, and they come across the line, tick off another lap. There's the third position car of Darren Angood. Then it's Andrew Jolly in fourth place. Tom Burls, we saw earlier on, he's running fifth position in Class B. But down through, and problems here for Stephen Hinchcliffe all over the place. A big Mr. Whippy for Hinchcliffe, the Mansfield-based racer. He is still fighting it, and all credit to him for doing so. Hinchcliffe in sixth position in Class B is now passed by Ben Rushworth. So Ben goes through, and the Mansfield accountant has managed to gather it all back together. As someone who found accountancy not exciting enough, clearly. And apologies for the joke to all accountants who might be watching, but there is the second place man. Mike Williams still there. Coming down the hill towards us now is Dan Willars, and then Tim Davies in 29. And then we wait with bated breath for the Class B runners. And are we going to get some more fireworks between these two cars? It's Philip Goff still there at the moment. And Goff, remember, has won every race that he's finished so far this year. Just one retirement. And Mark Eels was the winner of the one that he retired from. And Eels wants to get another win. More importantly, wants to beat Goff on even terms. They've had a physical encounter so far. Eels dropping away a couple of lengths down at the moment. Back with the race leader though, Tom Sanderson, pulling clear of all chasers. And this is the view that Tom Sanderson absolutely loves. Coming up and over the hill, clear circuit in front of him. Apart from a couple of back marks. I think that's Tom Burls, isn't it, next up? So Tom is probably going to be lapped by the end of the race. We've still got, as you can see, the blue car of Mike Williams in second position. So Williams will pull a point or so back on Ben Rushworth in the championship standings. Rushworth still second in those, but no question about Tom Sanderson, who is heading for win number 5 out of 8 in the championship this year. We've still got a couple of laps to go, of course, so let's not count our chickens before they hatch. There he is, back marker traffic to deal with as well. So the Scunthorpe racer deals with the back markers under the bridge up towards Lodge Corner. So Richard Young, the back marker that's just been passed. I think we've probably seen pretty much everybody in the race in our coverage so far, which is good. And there's the last lap board. So Tom Sanderson goes onto the last lap here and nips down on the inside of Thomas Burls. Burls, remember, running in a pretty good 5th place in Class B, but second position is still at the moment, I think, Mike Williams. Richard Garrard goes through. And then the number 30 of Oliver Hood. Hood in 8th position, Garrard in 7th. Tony Howe is ahead of them. Last lap board still going out. Jack Ashton enjoying his race as well. Dick Trevette has pulled clear of him, but here come the two runners in Class B. And as you can see, it's Philip Goff still there. Mark Eels, this is where he made the move earlier on. Too far back at the moment. We didn't see that really until we get to look side on to the cars. So it's Philip Goff, who looks like he's on for another class win here. Mark Eels in second position. The leader's on his last lap. These two aren't on their last lap yet, but they will be shortly. As across the line goes Peter Coleman in number 17. And Pete running in 8th position in class at the moment. But Tom Sanderson, the race leader, qualified second. Great start. Led down Cascades and hasn't been headed since. Back to 33. Andrew Jolly in the 33 car. He is running in 4th position in Class B. Now, hang on, this is a change in position because Mike Williams is now being chased by Dick Trevette. So I'm guessing Ben Rushworth is up into 2nd. So I think we've got Ben Rushworth 2nd, Mike Williams 3rd. Dick Trevette is in 4th place, trying to close him down. There indeed is Ben Rushworth in 2nd position. So it's Sanderson from Rushworth, and Williams has maybe got some problem. There's the race winner. Tom Sanderson takes the race win, and it's a good clear margin for Sanderson, his 5th win of the season. We wait for the 2nd place car to come through. It will be Ben Rushworth. There is Ben in 2nd position, and Dick Trevette is back in, he's in 3rd place, so Trevette finishes 3rd on the podium. And a photo for 4th place, and Jack Ashton just pips Mike Williams on the line. Well, that's how they finished. Tony Howe was next, then Richard Garrard and Oliver Hood. Dan Willars in 9th place. 10th position goes to Timothy Davis, and Mark Eales came through to win Class B ahead of Philip Goff, and then Darren Angood and Andrew Jolly. Tom Burles in 15th from Stephen Hinchcliffe, then Kyler Birdseye, Robin Sanderson, Pete Coleman and Richard Young.
So Tom, you made that look incredibly easy.
Yeah, it's not normally like that, trust me. But yeah, to have a race like that, I got in the lead and just managed to control the gap. That was good. So I'm pleased with that one. Yeah.
The gap seemed to increase. I don't know if it is technically, but it seemed to increase lap by lap.
At the start, Mike was quite close to me, but then he dropped off. I think he's got a problem with his gearbox or something. So I'm not too sure what happened there. But I thought if I just keep pushing, then just keep that gap there, and then should be good to the end. So that was it really.
So Ben, quite an exciting race. Just tell us about it.
Oh yeah, that was a really tough one. One of the hardest ones I've done, despite running 3rd most of the time, and managed to nab 2nd. Well, I say nab. Mike had a problem, went off circuit. Later found out once his gearbox got stuck in gear. So on the last lap, I was managed to just take it easy and pull past and take 2nd. So I'm quite happy for that because I wasn't really on the pace here. Some circuits you gel with, and Alton Park isn't me. So just really happy to get 2nd now. Yeah.
Mark, fantastic race there. Well done, 1st in class. A few battle scars.
Yeah, it's certainly made me work hard. I've been chasing Phil all season pretty much, so it's nice to be able to sort of catch up with him and pass him and have a bit of a battle with him, really.
I was going to say, normally he's quite a tricky one to catch. He normally gets a fair lead, so he did well there.
Yeah, it was. In all fairness, Tony was on a bit of a mission, I think, and I managed to hang on to him, and I could see us catching Phil, so I thought, well, I'll hang on to the back of Tony. Unfortunately, he pulled out with some mechanical problem, but I thought, well, we'll catch him. I think Phil had a bit of an off, and it put me right on his tail, so I say I've been chasing him all year, so I won't going to let him get away this time.
So Phil, congratulations on the podium, but you had to work hard for that one.
Yeah, it's a little bit disappointing really. Had quite a nice lead. Just lost a little bit of pace in the middle of the race, but I made a mistake at Druids, which allowed Mark to get up behind me again. Yeah, I've got no wing mirror on the right hand side, so I knew he was going to maybe have a look into the last corner, and I saw him hovering, so I started to move over, but because I couldn't actually see where he was, I didn't want to chop across the front or anything, so unfortunately he was still coming and there was still a gap. So yeah, just at the end of the race there got me.
So Brands Hatch now, and the Motorsport News Saloons Championship combined with the Cannons Tintots. We have seen them combined before. It's Rod Burley and Tom Knight on the front row of the grid, Gavin Thompson and Malcolm Wise on row 2, followed by Ian Butler and Matthew Turner. And we're racing on the full Grand Prix circuit today, so a real treat in store for the drivers. And a huge field, 40 cars qualifying, and great to see the Cannons Tintots runners up amongst the Motorsport News. It's Rod Burley leading, Tom Knight in 2nd position. Rod and Tom, of course, both did well in our previous coverage of the Motorsport News Saloons Championship. And we've got a multi-class structure and 2 championships all in one race. But look at the sight. This is absolutely wonderful for the spectators that we have here at Brands Hatch, one of the premium meetings for the championship. There is Dan Cowan in the Ford Sierra Cosworth, had some very impressive races last time out. Bill Richards in the Mini, that's running well too. He had a class win last time. But Rod Burley, I'm sure he won't mind me calling him a veteran driver, one of the most successful British national racing drivers of many, many years. And really, when you think of Rod Burley, should be considered in the same sentences, thoughts as the likes of Tony Lanfranchi, Barry Williams, Jerry Marshall, and drivers of that ilk, because he's does an awful lot for the sport, races very well indeed, and he's unbeaten so far this year in this championship. Now, Rod had a decision here because he's been racing in the Cannons Tin Tops Championship as well. As we look at Bob Hosier in the Seat Leon chasing hard, and Rod's been racing in the Cannons Tin Tops as well, but he's elected to come out and defend his championship lead in the Motorsport News Saloons, and it's Malcolm Wise running in second place at the moment. Good to see Gavin Thompson in the Peugeot back out with us as well. Gavin Thompson running in Class C, and Tom Knight down behind Malcolm Wise at the moment, coming down in towards Graham Hill Bend and then along Cooper Straight. We dip back a little bit further down the order. Peter Osborne in 77, the Vauxhall Astra VSR, running in the Cannons Tin Tops Class 1. And then 32, Adam Mew in the Ford Escort, Adam racing in Class A of the Motorsport News Championship. Basically, if I'm giving you a letter that doesn't begin with a T, it's in the Motorsport News Championship, and if it's a T, it's the Tin Tops. The Tin Tops generally less modified cars, and they work together well. We get a very good mix of cars throughout the course of the grid. The top Tin Top qualifier was Barney Davies, who you'll recall winning a few races in his Toyota Starlet GT, and Barney Davies qualified 11th out of 40 cars. So a great performance by him. It was Chris Bassett second in the Tin Tops, and he's in Class Tin Top 2. And Cliff Pellin, the third Tin Top driver, he's in the production class, and he qualified 19th. Cliff Pellin, the class leader. But Tom Knight goes up into second place at the expense of Malcolm Wise, but Wise is going to wind it up as they come along the straight. I thought he was going to try and get back past Tom Knight in the 43 car, but Wise down to third. Really good to see Gavin Thompson going well here in fourth position. Some modifications on the Peugeot. Do you remember when we saw him fighting out for the championship a couple of seasons ago at the end of one of our previous series of Last Lap? And Thompson in fourth place. Rod Burley, though, is away and down the road, set a qualifying time, 1.7 seconds clear of Tom Knight. And Rod will be looking to set fastest lap in this one as well on the Brands Hatch GP. Andy Bannum in 54, 98 is Dave Charlton, and Charlton followed by Chris Bassett in the Peugeot 205. So Bannum and Charlton. Bill Richards is in the mix as well, the Class D Championship leading Rover Mini Clubman. And look at it, lifts the wheel as he goes through Surtees. It's a great little car. An awful lot of work goes into that machine. And if you watched our last programme that featured the Motorsport News Saloon Championship, you'll know that we had a good long chat with Bill after his first class win in that meeting. And up behind them is 72, that's Tom Bridger racing in Class T1 as well. So Tom Bridger starting to work his way. You can own a car like this, you don't have to travel the length and breadth of the country to have to race the car. Most of the meetings at Brands Hatch, one meeting at Lyndon Circuit as well. So you can concentrate, learn the track, do get the variety of having a go on the GP circuit from time to time as well. Well, there is Barney Davies in 69, who's leading the Tin Tops. Tom Bridger's come through for second in the Tin Tops, and Barney chasing Matthew Turner. So for those of you that have seen these programmes before but not actually seen these cars on track, it must be fascinating to see the Cannons boys, the top Cannons boys, up against some of the top runners from the Motorsport News Saloon Championship, which are more modified. Andy Bannum, fifth in Class A for qualifying, being chased by Dave Charlton. Dave had a miserable time last time our cameras were on him, which was the meeting that these cars shared with the supercarts. Adrian Matthews is there as well. Marcus Bicknell running in the in 7th position at the moment in Class A in the Mustang, and it looks absolutely fantastic to see that car. And this championship gives a home for all of those cars. And it's superb to see. Malcolm Wise third, he goes through shot. Marcus Bicknell, I think, a lap down. Gavin Thompson goes through shot. Then Gary Cole, who is a little bit down at the moment. Then the 95 car of Matt Ellis, the Puma of Adrian Matthews, is there as well. Some of these runners will find themselves a lap down, but Gavin Thompson, let's have a look at the Mustang. Attracts the cameras, doesn't it, that car? Looks absolutely wonderful. Thompson snaking and sliding as something broken on the Peugeot. The Mustang goes through on the inside, and it has. He's off. He's going to nudge the barrier. So sadly, Thompson is off. We're back with the Mustang, which is still running well. So Marcus Bicknell coming down the hill. I'm reminded of a late 70s formula here called Ascar, not the later version of Ascar, which ran on the oval at Rockingham, but there was a championship run by, I think it was the likes of Chris Davis. Tom Laffey raced in it. Barry Lee was in it as well, doubling up with his hot rod commitments, but it was all Mustangs and Chevrolet Camaros, and I wouldn't say 4 grids of them because there weren't quite enough to make it a superb series, but it would be nice if someone had the chance to put all those out. But that's not what this is about. This is about a very eclectic mix of cars and talented drivers, and Rod Burley goes through, still the leader to maintain his 100% record. Sean Fairweather in the Sierra is past. Fairweather down in 21st position at the moment. The 89 car of Mike Chittenden, the BMW M3, goes through as well. But here is Rod Burley across the line and onto the last lap to maintain his 100% record here. It's one thing, of course, to finish every race of the year. It's quite another to bring a car home to a win. And he hasn't been without mechanical problems in some races. Rod's driven around some problems this year, and if you've seen previous programmes in Last Lap Series, you'll know that that's the case. But Rod is still there. The Ford Escort WRC still out front. Tom Knight second and leading Class B. We've got Malcolm Wise in 3rd place, and he's 2nd in Class A, and Alex Sidwell in the Holden Commodore 3rd in Class A. Ian Butler is 2nd in Class B. He's 5th on the road at the moment. As we flick back and look at the Honda Civic Type R of Graham Richardson running in the Cannons Tin Tops. Tin Tops led by Barney Davies. Tom Bridger is 2nd. Peter Osborne is 4th in the Tin Tops, 3rd in T1. Chris Bassett is winning Class T2, and Daniel Adams winning the production class of Tin Tops in the Proton Satria. Cliff Pellin non-finishing this one, but as I say, well on to the last lap of this race, and again back to Alex Sidwell. Marcus Bicknell 7th in Class 26 on the road, and here's Rod Burley, who's going to take another win. So Burley out of Clark Curve onto the Brabham Straight for the last time, and will take another win to maintain his 100% record here at Brands Hatch. Burley takes the win. It's Tom Knight in 2nd place, Malcolm Wise in 3rd from Alex Sidwell, then Ian Butler and Dan Cowan, Matthew Turner from the top Tin Top runner, Barney Davis, then Mark Cripps, Tom Bridger 2nd in the Cannons race, then it was Andy Bannerman, Dave Charlton, Chris Bassett from Peter Osborne and Bill Richards, Martin Scott, Daniel Adams, Mikey Day, and then Graham Richardson and Ryan Steele in 20th. Next up, Sean Fairweather from Perry Winch, Steve Everson, Ken Angel 24th and James Alford 25th.
Well, Rod, congratulations. Another win on what's been a very convincing season, and nice to finally get the better of the Brands Hatch GP after a little while, huh?
5 years. 2010 was the last time I had a win. I came so close last year. Just on the last lap we had an engine issue and Dale nipped through, so the last lap I was looking at every gauge, but fair play to Tom. He really kept me honest. You know, he came on strong in the middle of the race, and you know, with such a big grid you're getting in amongst the back markers, but fair play, they all looked in their mirrors and it was good racing.
Well, Tom, congratulations. 2nd place for you there, and you certainly kept Rod honest.
Yeah, no, it was good. It was a good race. Turbo cars I just can't compete really. I've got a standard engine in that, standard power, but we've got the handling just right, so I can give him a good run, but down these fast straights he's just too much.
Well, Malcolm, congratulations, 3rd place for you there. You did have a really good start though, and 1 point up to 2nd.
That's right. I knew it was always going to be a little bit difficult because the handling's so unpredictable on the back of my car. We've worked on it so many times and we still haven't got it right, and Tommy's getting better and better with his car, and those M3s really do stick to the road. I tell you, he got me. But he didn't get away as much as I thought he might have done. But yeah, as I say, if it's a wet race this afternoon, watch this space.
So on to our last race for this programme. Rod Burley once again on pole position and alongside Tom Knight. Then it's Malcolm Wise and Alex Sidwell on row 2. And away we go here at Brands Hatch. Daniel Cowan on the outside of row 3 in the orange and green Sierras, trying to get going as well. Looks like Matthew Turner's made a good start, but Rod Burley leading once again. Tom Knight in 2nd position. Barney Davis gets it sideways. He's the top Cannons tin top runner. Well, with 40 cars on the grid, that could have been nasty. It was probably bad enough for Barney. He's lost a couple of positions, but the Toyota Starlet is back going again and chasing Dan Cowan at the moment. But it's Burley from Knight as they go along Cooper Straight up into Surtees onto the Grand Prix loop for the first time. Andy Bannum in 54 side by side with Daniel Cowan. Pilgrim's Drop up towards Hawthorns here at Brands Hatch. It's an iconic piece of racetrack, a wonderful view of these cars. Just look at this field, absolutely superb. 40 cars, so full credit to everyone involved in organising this championship. Mike Chittenden in the BMW goes through and they head down towards Westfield and now towards Dingle Dell. Rod Burley still looking to maintain. Doesn't matter whether you put Rod on the Indy circuit, Linden Hill, the full GP circuit here at Brands Hatch, always competitive, and this year it's all been about wins. Now, is that Gary Cole going a little bit wide? It was. So Gary Cole has a little moment on the gravel, but comes back on when it's safe to do so. You can see now just ahead of the 33 car, we've got the 2 top tin top runners. Barney Davis chasing Tom Bridger. So Bridger in front at the moment, and we'll have to keep a check on that as the race continues, as to whether Tom Bridger's going to pull some points back here on Barney Davis. Remember, we're going to be filming the championship finales of these championships in November. So we urge you to come down to Brands Hatch on Saturday the 7th and Sunday the 8th of November. Massive firework display at the end of the Sunday. And we've got a whole host of excellent motor racing, obviously including the guys that you're looking at now, the Tin Tops and the Motorsport News Saloon Championship as well. So the finale is that weekend in November, and it may be cold out. Wrap up warm, come and enjoy some great racing and enjoy some fireworks on track and indeed off track at the end of the Sunday. Tom Bridger there, he's the leading Cannons Tin Top man, and a reminder that the Tin Top cars, effectively the less modified ones. Matt Ellis in 95 having a little nibble at Rob Taylor in the T3 car. Both of these cars in Class 3 for the Cannons Tin Tops. Perry Winch goes through in the Clio and hoping to join the battle here. Another Cannons Tin Top T3 car, Terry Waller in the red Peugeot 205. Adam Mew in his Class A Motorsport News Championship Ford Escort. As you can see, Gavin Thompson is back on circuit in this one and trying to work his way through from the back of the field after that. What looked like a breakage in race number 1. Mark Cripps at the moment, the meat in the sandwich of the 2 Tin Top boys. Now down towards us, the 37 car of Ken Angel in the BMW, up ahead of Steve Everson and then James Alford. Perry Winch is next, running second in Class B behind the Mini. And Mikey Day, one of the Class T3 runners. Ryan Steele, pretty sure, had a win last time out in the Cannons, and T3 of course is one of the most competitive classes in the Cannons Tin Top Championship. Now this time Marcus Bicknell still on the lead lap, having not had a gyration, and dicing with the Class C car of Bob Hosier here, so entertaining the fans big time, and Hosier trying to get past in that newer machine. Meanwhile we go a little way back down the order. The Puma of Adrian Matthews goes through as well. We've got a big Mr. Whippy moment on here for one of the Saxos, which is recovered. I think it was Ryan Steele who recovers it. Blue flags being waved for some of the slower drivers, and Rod Burley here, to my mind, has got a better lead. He passes the 41 of Rob Taylor. Matt Ellis goes through as well. Peter Osborne in 77, one of the Cannons drivers, the Vauxhall Astra VXR. And Rod Burley having to, that was a great shot of Rod Burley having to work his way through the traffic. He's caught up with Perry Winch. Winch is running second in Class D, 22nd on the road, with Ken Angel immediately behind. So it's not all about leading and putting away for the likes of Rod and Tom Knight. They've got to work their way through the traffic as well. And let's just look, there's Tom Knight, still running in second position, but with a broken wing. So that's going to hamper Tom, I think, a little bit. Rod Burley will see the blue flags, as indeed will the back marker cars. So Ken Angel has let the other BMW through, but it's Rod Burley still leading this one, and again looking to maintain a 100% record here at Brands Hatch this year, and I wonder if he'll manage to do that in our November meeting. Make sure you join us at the circuit and indeed here on Motors TV on Last Lap to find out if Rod can do that. So this is the camera position from Stirling's Bend, and we change over. Gavin Thompson's had a very good run here in the Peugeot, and you can see he's having to work his way through. Ian Butler there as well, so Tom Knight goes through. Knight running in second position. Just trying to have a look back and see how far the other cars are. James Alford in the Clio is there as well. Alford running in the production class of the tin tops, and so too was Cliff Pellin. We caught a quick view of there. Cliff Pellin, the production class leader in the Tin Tops Championship. Haven't seen too much of Cliff in this meeting, but here he comes in the Fiesta ST, which he ran in the Ford Fiesta Championship for a little while before deciding to base his racing locally, and that's a big attraction for a lot of the drivers. Daniel Adams in the Proton Satria. Daniel running in the... And there's a problem for Barney Davis. Barney Davis looks like it's going to be a retirement, and Tom Bridger retakes the lead. We're on the last lap of the race. Rod Burley's just gone past Mikey Day. Mikey's running second in Class T3 of the Tin Tops. That class led by Ryan Steele at the moment. But there is the scrap for third place. Ian Butler in third position in Class B, being chased by a Class C Peugeot, and Gavin Thompson running well in the Peugeot here. And it's been a very good drive through the field from the back. Remember, it was a non-finishing race, number one for Thompson, but he's come through. It's been another cracking drive from Rod Burley in 44. He's pulled away, fastest lap of the race, slightly bigger margin so far in this one to the last race. It's going to be Tom Knight again second, but significantly for Tom Knight, another class win for the BMW E36. Picking up again with Adrian Matthews, fourth in the production class of the Cannons, but the overall win once again goes to Rod Burley in the 44 Ford Escort WRC. Tom Knight there in second. Third position goes to Ian Butler. He takes second in Class B behind Tom Knight. Gavin Thompson wins Class C and takes fourth overall. Second in Class A is going to go to Daniel Cowan, who finishes in fifth place. All six went to Matthew Turner. The top Cannons racer was Tom Bridger, then Andy Bannum in 8th with Chris Bassett and Mark Cripps in 10th place. 11th was Martin Scott from Bill Richards and Peter Osborne. Bob Hosier followed by Dave Charlton, Cliff Pellin, Daniel Adams, Marcus Bicknell and Sean Fairweather. Ryan Steele winning T3 ahead of Mikey Day, then Perry Winch, Steve Everson, Ken Angel, James Alford, Chris Brown, Adrian Matthews, Ben Corbs Rob Taylor and Matt Ellis 30th.
Well, Rod, congratulations. You've done the double here at Brands Hatch, and I believe that ties up the championship for you as well.
I hope so. I think we're a bit of maths tonight, but I had to come here and score 42 points and 2 wins in the class day, 29 a time, so that's 58. So fingers crossed, but we'll still come back for the last round. We're not going to let them off. We want to do the whole series because, you know, it's such a great championship, such good fun.
Well, Tom, another second place finish for you there. And that one was quite eventful, wasn't it?
Yeah. I didn't know my spoiler went, apart from the fast sections where I was drifting rather than racing. But that is a good race. The hold and the power of that car, I can't compete down the straight. But through the corners, I was right on his bumper. And that's where I made the time up. But no, it's a good race.
And congratulations, a good solid podium to end the weekend on.
Yeah, we basically had to finish both races to win the Class B championship, and that's what we done, but I enjoyed that. It was a good race. Yeah,
absolutely. And Brands Hatch is always such a fun circuit to race on, isn't it?
Yeah, but we really like it. We only live 10 minutes down the road, so it's good. But yeah, the Grand Prix track's awesome.
Well, Tom, it's the second place in the Tin Tops in the first race of the weekend, and you've gone one better now and taken the win. Well done.
Yeah, it was a really good race. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Obviously, had a great battle with Barney. It's tough for us, as obviously we were on the Tin Tops, we were on semi-slicks, whereas the Yemens, they're all on slicks. So grip-wise, after about 4 or 5 laps, we really struggled. But to finish where I did overall as well, I think it was like 7th. Really happy with that. So yeah.
Well, good, solid second place in the Tin Tops there. Are you happy with that?
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I'm never going to really catch the turbo cars, so it's just best of the rest, I guess, really. So it's not a lot to sort of race against, because a couple of the cars pulled out before this race. So yeah, it was just trying to keep going and pick up as many points as we can, really.
Well, sadly, that's all we've got time for from Brands Hatch. Join us next time for the finale of the BRSCC Alfa Romeo Championship. We'll see you then.